What is the most pain you've ever experienced? I got a parasitic infection in my eye from using contacts in the shower, transmitted by my roommate's ferret. The months of light sensitivity sucked, as my eyes were effectively open sores. Even the breeze on my face was rather painful. But then came the surgery and treatment, where they anesthetized my eye and proceeded to scrape at it with a needle while I had to look on in horror and feel my eyeball pushed up against my skull. Then for the next month I had to put literal bleach on my eye every 3 hours to sterilize it. Imagine setting an alarm, putting bleach in your eyes, trying to fall asleep amid the burning, finally falling back asleep just before the alarm goes off again for another drop. That definitely broke me. Don't fuck around with contacts, kids. I had a student stab me once. 16 stitches across my right ribs. It sucked a lot. But when I got to the hospital and they started stitching it up, the adrenaline had worn off and the local anesthetic they gave me was not working. The doctor, who I'm pretty sure studied medicine under Dr. Mangala, was not gentle or polite about it. Feeling him pierce my skin as he stitched me up made me throw up and black out. I got hit with a paintball in my left nut which caused some sort of internal trauma. Wasn't that bad at the time, but it got infected and I was put on some hardcore antibiotics. Was not a fun time. Will be wearing a cup from now on. When I was 10 I had a bone tumor the size of a hand on my arm I had to get removed after the surgery. My arm had been cut down so much that if I hit untouched by anything my arm would have broken in half. Let's just say it did not feel good. When I was 12, I was hit by a car at 45 miles per hour. The impact snapped my left humerus and shattered my left tibia, fibula. I was thrown 20 feet into a busy intersection. In the ER, the attending decided to lift my broken leg without support in order to get a board under it. Everyone told him not to, from the EMTs to the trauma nurse to my mother, who had been an RN for years. He did it anyway. The pain sent me into a grand mal seizure. Every muscle in my body contracted, including my left tricep, deltoid, and trapezoid, which caused the jagged edge of my broken arm to slip its setting and move toward my neck. I never once lost consciousness. Edit. Since people are asking, and in some cases challenging my story, I was, of course, in severe shock for the entire experience and have only a spotty memory of most of it. This was 30 years ago, after all. But my mother, an RN who at the time had trauma and ER experience, has always been adamant about the fact that I maintained consciousness throughout the whole episode. I've always taken her word for it. Everyone saw the doctor lift my leg. As soon as I started seizing, the EMTs, the nurses, and my mother all moved to restrain me as much as possible to minimize further injury. My mother was the first to see my humerus fracture slip its setting. I don't know if anyone told the doctor off after the fact, but I learned sometime later that he was the doctor in charge of my PT and outpatient recovery. Last I knew, years after the fact, he had become a board member for that hospital. My parents did not sue the driver. The street was a 3-lane, and I wasn't crossing at the intersection. The driver that hit me was illegally using the middle turn lane to pass another car, which is why he was going so fast in a 35. The police report only made mention of the fact that I was not at the crosswalk, but said nothing of the driver's illegal maneuver or negligence. I actually kind of feel like we'd have had a solid court case, but my parents never took action, which I now know to be typical of them. But at 12 I had no idea.